Before we talk about how we're going to utilize your telephone device. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Today's video is going to be everything about some tips and tricks on how you can utilize your phone to create some great content for your audience and your viewers and your customers and your clients. So whichever of those you see as valuable to you. So they could be a mix of both. They could be a mix of all of them, but I'm going to be describing mostly as your viewer, someone who's going to consume this wonderful bit of content. But you may be wondering first, why should you actually create a piece of video content in the first place? How is it going to help you and your business? So many of us are going to have some more time now we're during this lockdown, whether that's you're furloughed from work, whether that's you have been unfortunately made redundant and you have to fill this time with something productive. So if you are thinking about becoming a business owner, or you are a business owner now and you are worried about getting through this time, then listen up to this video, because it is hopefully going to have some helpful tips to get you raring and started to be able to start creating some content on your mobile phone that's really going to teach your audience something and really going to allow you to position yourself as the go-to person in your field. So the question I get all the time is, why should I specifically create video content on social media? Now, a lot of our time in this modern age and a lot of what we spend our lives doing is scrolling through social media. So whether that's Facebook, whether that's Instagram, whether that's LinkedIn, you might say to yourself, no, I should stop doing it. But the reality of the fact is your attention and where your attention is and where your audience's attention is as well is going to be on those social media channels. So why aren't you creating a piece of content every day or every week or every couple of days that talks about what you do and talks about it and showcases it in such a way that's going to be exciting and interesting for your potential customer, your potential client, your potential viewer to consume and take value from? So hopefully some of the tips later on in this video. I'm going to start this video by talking about why a little bit, but then also as we go into the video, and I'll leave timestamps in the description down below so you can navigate to the part of the video which you really are interested in and is going to add the most value to you. So a lot of your audience is really going to kind of utilize their time where they may be taking a break from work, or they possibly may be procrastinating from work. It happens to the best of us, and they're going to be scrolling down social media. Now, you want to be able to be on there and be able to be in their attention and be able to articulate yourself and why your product and service is important to them, especially with the lead up to Christmas. So this is going to be hopefully going to take some of these tips in this video that's going to allow you to create some content that is then going to be allow you to post that content on social media, on your channels, for your viewers, for your customers, for your potential clients to see, to then allow them to engage with you more, for then you to be in the forefront of their mind when it comes to whatever your product and service is, and then they're more likely to bring you up in conversation, whether that's at the breakfast table or the dinner table within their family, or when they're talking to a friend through Zoom, or whether they're being socially distanced and meeting up with their friends and going to be talking about, oh, what are you getting this person for Christmas and how are you going to go around Christmas this year in that respect. So a lot of people are going to make those purchasing decisions right now in November about Christmas if they haven't already. So now is the time, if you're not already, to start creating some content that really shows and utilizes the skills and the why your products and why your services are valuable to your end consumer. And something else that when you have quite a body of content and when you've been creating video content or content in general really allows you to do is it allows you to stand apart from your competition, simply because, I'll give you an example. Say there's two businesses and their products are the same, but their services are the same, but one talks about their product a lot of the time and is always on social media, and their name is constantly there and being shown to you, and you're seeing it a lot. So you might see it a lot whenever you open your phone, or whether you're on Facebook or Instagram or etc. And then there's another business that doesn't really have much content or doesn't really have much going on in the way of content. So they you know, you're going to think, oh, are they still doing it? Are they still in business? Are they still, you know, offering this service or product? If you have an updated library of content saying, well, this is what I'm doing this week, this is what I've been working on last week, one, it gives you more of a, you know, a larger reputation, but also it allows you to continually passively generate interest in what you do, and kind of advertise and say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, this is why it's valuable to you, the end consumer, but also then here's how you can, you know, obtain that service. So whether that's a product, here's where you can buy it, or where's that service, this is what I offer and this is why it's valuable to your business, and how you can articulate that to your ideal customer through video. And you know, I've got other videos talking about how to do that specifically, and I'm going to be doing more as well if this is the first video you are coming across. So do make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell if you are interested in this kind of content, because there's going to be a lot more coming in the coming weeks as well. So one of the main questions that I get when it comes to video content creation on your phone and how to utilize your phone is a really, really simple tip. And it's just, which way shall I have my phone? And the main reason for this is because it will change how the overall video looks, for obvious reasons, because you'll have a portrait, you know, image that will be portrait, and then you have a landscape image. Now, the main reason why you would want to go about doing this is mainly going to be, where do you plan to post it? So I'll give you an example. If you're planning to mainly post this video that I'm going to film on my phone, specifically, is it going to be a video which I am going to post to my LinkedIn accounts, or to my Facebook accounts, or to my Instagram account? Because in most cases, you want to try and fill as much of your audience's feed as much as possible, because then they're more likely to stop scrolling and listen to what you have to say, or watch the video that you're filming and you've created and you know you're going to be discussing. So that's the main reason why you should film portrait. Now, the only time when I would say you shouldn't do this is when you're trying to film a video, one, maybe when you only have the option to film it in landscape, but also when you need that or want that extra space over the edges, because you're looking to put it on YouTube, or you're trying to annotate what you're talking about with B-roll, or you're trying to add in some extra text elements to give the video some more flair. But the thing is, it also comes back to your end place at the end of the day. That's where, and that's why it's important to understand which way you should film that piece of content. Now, something which is overlooked a lot of the time whenever people come to me and say, oh, I want to start creating some video content, how would I go about doing that, is the role that camera movement plays. Now, there needs to be a reason why, or should be a reason why you are, you know, moving the camera, right? In most cases, if you're just doing a talking to camera piece or a headshot piece like this, then your camera should be stabilized in some way. So whether that's something simple like it's leant up against some books, or it's on a shelf, or it's against a wall, that could be something simple. Or you can buy a very small, very easy to use and very easy to have phone tripod that you know is just a smaller version of what I'm using here to put my camera in the correct position for me to then talk to it. So it allows me to focus, and also the audience to focus on what I'm discussing, what I'm talking about, and what I'm doing, instead of worrying about specifically what's going on behind them, or the camera movement itself being specifically jerky and or shaky. Now, on phones, in most cases, the stabilization is pretty good, but you need to also understand about the feel and how that could be distracted, and how you can make a less controlled situation if you are walking around with your phone. And as using some of the tips later on in this video, you'll see that using them in tandem will be very, very helpful to allow you to then focus in on your performance, focus in on really articulating the best way you can the message and the content which you're trying to give your viewers, which at the end of the day is the main reason and the main value for your viewers and for your end consumer when it comes to articulating yourself across video. So lighting plays a really, really key role, and there is some simple just understanding and simple terminology that you can use when thinking about starting to set up for a small video shoot, whether that's on your phone or whether you're using a DSLR or getting someone like me in to help you film a video. So it could be just something simple like how you are going to illuminate yourself, because in most cases in an image, the thing that's the most illuminated will be the thing which our eyes are going to be attracted to. So if you can, try to make sure that your face is the most illuminated thing in the scene, because the reason why is you'll naturally look towards that thing when you look at the video. So if it is your face and I'm having a conversation with you now, I want you to look at my face. I don't want you to necessarily look somewhere else. But that does not mean for a second that you need to, you know, have a dark box behind you or etc. There is ways and there's techniques, and there is some more advanced techniques that you can use by positioning lights in specific places that will help you actually shape your face a little bit more. But I'll do further videos on that at a later date. But I want to keep this video as simple as I possibly can. So if you are in a position where you have an office, you have a bedroom, you have, you know, a place in your house that has some beautiful windows, then just utilize that natural light. Natural light is free, it's beautiful, it's soft, it's going to be really, really flattering on your face. And the thing is, which a lot of people don't necessarily understand, is you should film as if the light or the light source is going to hit your face and illuminate the stuff behind you as well. So ideally what you want to do is you want to, say for example, the camera was my light source. I would want to then film as if I was talking to my phone here, and I'm going to be talking to my phone, and the light source is going to illuminate the majority of my face in similar to what this light panel over here is doing to my face here as well. Position yourself as near to a window as you can, and then just focus on actually producing the content and talking to your potential end consumer or your potential customer about why your business is important. So audio is the most important, and I would argue probably the most overlooked part of any videographer's kit, or even just a normal person doing video that isn't necessarily overly interested in becoming a videographer specifically. But a simple answer and a simple, you know, thing I can give you from an advice standpoint for video creation is just try to use a pair of earphones that will allow you to get that microphone a lot closer to your mouth than otherwise, because you need to remember that phones are not necessarily designed to have your phone out here and talk to it and still create good audio, because they're designed for a phone to be like this when you're on the phone. So something which that's how the mics are designed. Now, by no means does that mean it will necessarily be bad audio if you do it that way, but the best audio you can get is if your microphone is as close as you can get it to your, you know, your sound source. So in most cases, your mouth. So for example, my mic is just here, clipped to my shirt. Another option could be if you have a pair of earphones. You know, you could utilize them. Most common or most modern sets of headphones do come with inbuilt microphones, and this will allow you to, if you were wearing a pair of earphones, it would allow you to put the headphones in your ear, but also keep the microphone close to your mouth. So when you are giving or talking to your audience or talking to your viewers through video content, it brings that mic closer to your mouth. Moving on to then the scene in which you are going to film your piece of content. Now, it's sometimes not always just about what is in the scene, but it's also about what is not in the scene specifically. So before this video, I spent a good 20 to 25 minutes clearing anything that was going to be in my shot that I thought would be distracting. So it could be something simple like a glass. It could be something simple like a coffee cup or a drink, or even then something more complicated like your laptop or etc. Now, obviously this is impractical because, for example, I've still got my computer here and etc. But it's the main things that are easy to remove. The more things you can remove, the better, because it means your audience are going to be more focused on you and what you're saying instead of looking around at the rest of the scene to look at what else is in your room or wherever else it is you're shooting. So this is something you should keep in mind, but something that I like to say about all of these tips is take them with a pinch of salt, because a lot of the content you should be creating should be something that you're passionate about and should actually really matter more about the content itself. Because if you spend all of your time worrying about how it sounds, how it looks, what's in the scene, what isn't in the scene, then it's going to be a barrier in the way of you stopping to create the content. So taking back from last week's video, specifically, just create the content, just do it, just you know, create that content and start that process from rolling. But if you can, take a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra care on your surroundings, and understanding that you know, maybe it takes an extra 5-10 minutes to remove a couple of things, maybe, you know, that crisp packet that you're eating, or the coffee cup that you were definitely not going to put another coffee in, but you end up will, and etc. It just will be sort of more a psychological thing, but also a thing that will just allow your audience to focus in on you and what you're talking about a little bit more. And it's these little things that are going to help your videos stand apart from everyone else's as well. And the bonus tip for this video, guys, I did hope you enjoyed it, but it's just something very, very simple, and that is keep eye contact with the lens on your phone, not looking at what you are actually filming on your phone specifically. So if you are using the selfie camera like this, it's looking just up here at the top of your screen. And just a quick note, if you can, try to use the back phone camera on your phone to film yourself like this, so you can see the front of your screen. You can't see the front of your screen. There's two reasons for this. One, the back camera is normally higher resolution for video than the front camera, because it's normally just a better camera overall, because it's used and designed to take photos. And also it will remove you the chance that you're going to spend looking at the phone screen, looking down at the phone screen, instead of looking directly into the lens and making that eye contact that we talked about in the last video, but the eye contact that you should be making with your end consumer and or your potential client or potential customer that you're creating the video content for in the first place. Because think about it this way, we spend our lives, whenever we're having a conversation in person with someone, we like to make eye contact with them. So why is this different? This allows you to connect with your end consumer more, because you're going to make eye contact with them, and therefore they're going to feel like you're really talking to them instead of looking down or looking at your script or etc. Now, of course, if you're going to plan your content, and this leads me on to just an extra bonus tip, because we're just adding value today. Some of the time it's good to fully script your content, but also some of the time that's going to be a barrier and going to make it a lot more harder for you to actually create the content. But the one thing I would recommend that everyone does is create a list of points that you want to hit. And then as you go back through and you watch the video back, you can say, okay, cool, I did hit these 5 points. Great, because that way then you can keep a track on also understanding the value that you're going to add to your potential audience and your audience that you're talking to, but also then you know what you have and haven't covered without having to re-watch videos all the time. So there is an argument to over planning, and there is also an argument to planning, but as long as like the process works for you to create content, and you can create valuable, interesting and educational content that is a mix of all of those, then whatever works for you, just do it. And then once you start the video process, and once you can start that video process, you're only going to start benefiting from having an archive of videos to really kind of help you articulate why your product and service is beneficial, is going to be valuable to your end consumer. So that is going to wrap up today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video and you would like to see more like it, then make sure to be subscribed. I'm going to be releasing more videos like this, but also some of the more videography based stuff as well. Like we've got a mini doc coming out this week as well from Type 55 perspective. But also thank you so much for watching. If you do have any other questions or any other thoughts, then feel free to reach out to me directly through my Instagram. My Instagram is linked in the description down below. And I'll be sure to get back to you, and I like having one-to-one conversations with you as well. So if there is any questions that you haven't necessarily got your answers to, then do please reach out and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, let me know what your first video is going to be talking about in the comment section down below. I would love to hear about that and hear how I can help you create better video content for your potential customer and client. And I'll see you next week for a brand new video where we'll be discussing some of the things that you can do to utilize video content in this time to allow you to scale your business into the future and add more value to your customers.